I'm gonna do it from here. Yeah, go ahead. You guys see it. Ronnie's down! Officer's down! Officer's down! Ronnie's down! Ronnie's down!
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Shots Fired Podcast Body Cam Breakdown. I'm Mark Rutledge. To my left is Kyle Schoberg, and we are your hosts. Today's video comes out of LAPD SWAT team. March 6th. Don't do that.
Sorry, you're SWAT.
March 16th, 2021, there was reports of a person in the backyard of a home at noon firing off a rifle. SWAT officers and patrol responded. After hours of a standoff, a SWAT officer was ultimately hit in the chest and in the neck. So we're going to break this video down today.
Suspect! Steve! Come see your head! Get off the air! Suspect's coming out the 2-3 corner of the door. Sir, come see your head! Let me have a round. You good? Yeah. I got hit. Roger. I got hit in the vest. You got hit in the vest? Yeah. Rodney got hit in the vest. Come on, your hands up!
All right, so let me pause it right there. Mark, you were a full-time SWAT guy. Explain to everybody what we're seeing on the screen right now. What are these extra tools that they have? Why are there two guys standing there, and what are they doing?
All right, so in this situation, it's a SWAT standoff with a suspect that's refusing to come out of the house. Any SWAT deployment, it's very choreographed and very disciplined and methodical. So you have two officers, it looks like in a neighbor's yard, and what they're doing is they're surrounding the house. Their responsibility ultimately is going to end up being deploying gas into the home. So the first officer that's up front that has the rifle, that's the lethal cover officer. Every SWAT operation, you have two officers that are married together. In this case, he's the lethal cover. The secondary officer behind him, you could see him ultimately at this point, he has a less lethal, and then he also, that's the shotgun that you're looking at, but he also has a gas gun off to the side. That's used to deploy gas into the home. That officers, which we talk about often, is roles and responsibilities. So in this, you're looking at the roles and responsibilities. Ultimately, one is a lethal cover for the other officer that's responsible for the gas deployment. And that's what they're setting up to do in this situation.
You want me to take your place? No, I'm good. Look at your head! You see him? I can't see him, no. Rodney is good. Rodney is good. Rodney Williams, he's good. I'm gonna do it from here. Yeah, go ahead. You guys see it.
All right, so real quick, he's saying Rodney's good. In the previous clip, we saw the first SWAT officer get shot in the vest, and they didn't move their position. That's why the secondary officer who was going to deploy the gas grabbed his rifle, because now I think they realize that they're in a situation where this dude is actually firing at them. One of them has actually been shot, and it went from probably about to deploy gas. Now this is back to a lethal situation. Why do you think that these guys didn't move to a different position after he was shot?
So again, it goes back to being methodical and a well-planned out gas plan. So the officer or the SWAT officer that did the scout, which means you're circling the entire house, you're sketching or taking photographs of it. The goal for the gas deployment is to deploy gas in ultimately every room in the house to push the suspect from wherever they are out the front door. So they're going to start generally in the back of a house and then continue to deploy gas, pushing the suspect out to the front door. And what it looks like at this point is there's probably officers, SWAT officers throughout the surrounding the home, and this is probably their advantage point for this portion of the gas plan. So to have a successful gas plan, they're going to need to have these officers here. So they're ultimately, in a way, kind of stuck in this position, having discipline to stay there, and then ultimately communicating that. Because if they were to leave, they may potentially leave an open portion of the house that they can't deploy gas in, which the suspect could actually retreat into.
Yeah, that officer took that round like a stud.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely.
All right, let's keep watching.
Rodney's down. Officer down. Officer down. Rodney's down. Rodney's down. Rodney. Talk to me, Rodney. Put your hand there.
All right, so if we pause it right there, you can see that the officer actually took around to it looks to me like maybe the neck area, maybe his face, but you could see in that video, he's wounded pretty bad. It looks like blood is pouring out of his neck pretty substantially. And kudos to his secondary officer for grabbing him and physically being able to actually pull him back through the yard, full gear, the other officers in full gear. That is extremely heavy and very difficult to do. That officer is not a small guy. So from a medical standpoint, you also have a lot of medical experience. What are you seeing there?
Not a good situation. I mean, he's shot in the face or in the neck, and that's not what you want to see. But what he's doing is, you're right, he did pull him out because at some point they're going to have to provide medical aid. It is really restrictive with all the gear that he has on. And what you're not hearing is the audio or the communication with the other officers that are on scene. And ultimately, once Rodney was hit in the neck and then falls to the ground, additional officers on scene returned fire, and then ultimately the suspect was shot. So now they're free to do the medical aid on this point. So this is not a good situation. He's pulling him off the side, and ultimately they're going to be stripping his gear. Great communication. He's calling for a medic, identifying exactly where they're at on the side of the house to get Rodney some help. So outstanding job pulling him away, and how heavy this drag actually really is.
And you even had that dog in the frame trying to provide medical aid to Rodney. So
yeah.
Let's keep watching and finish the rest of the scene.
Have the area come to side 2, 1 west of the location.
Okay, so in that last bit of sequence, the second officer that drug Rodney out to safety, that guy remained completely calm. He was able to provide clear, concise, and accurate updates of his injuries, and he was able to coordinate where an ambulance to come pick them up at the neighbor's house and where exactly they were located. That's really hard to do under those circumstances. And the officer, Rodney, who was hit, he remains super calm, which only is going to help his case, because that's going to keep him from elevating his heart rate, bleeding more, and potentially causing the situation much worse. So he was probably obviously in a state of shock, but he's able to apply pressure to his own wound and stay calm. So I thought those two guys did a outstanding job given the circumstance they were in. Now we can watch the rest of the video camera, which shows the engagement of the suspect after Rodney was hit.
So yeah, hey, don't fucking move. Don't move. Don't reach for that rifle. Do not reach for that rifle. Is he down? Yeah, he's down. He's down. Suspect's down.
So what you just saw here was a different body cam view from another SWAT officer who looks like he's actually above that location. So he's elevated, providing more of an overwatch, not quite sniper position based on the rifle, but an overwatch for the other officers. Once Rodney is hit, the suspect ends up coming out and then engages the other officers. Since he's in a position of advantage, he leans out the window, sees him outside with the rifle, and takes multiple lethal shots at the suspect, who drops to the ground. He had such discipline in this lethal encounter, because you could see a close-up. I mean, he's on safe the whole time, comes off safe, fires multiple rounds, and immediately back on safe, gives commands, just pure discipline. And Kyle and I, we talk about training all the time. And like this ultimately is a great demonstration of why training is so important, having discipline, being calm in these situations, and constantly thinking about scenarios. So outstanding job by this officer, saved the other officers' lives, no doubt, and then still had respect for that suspect giving commands and was disciplined during this entire situation.
Yeah, overall, I think this is a really good video to break down, learn from, and like you said, talking about communication, discipline, and training overall. So great job by these SWAT officers out of LAPD. Job well done. That's it for today's Body Cam Breakdown, guys. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
See ya.